Alright everybody, here we go. Finally, the wait is over. We are going to do a full reptile room tour. It's been a while. I think February was the last one I did, and so much stuff has changed since then that it's part of the reason I keep putting it off, is just because, you know, aside from life just getting in the way, these videos take a long time to make. Just so much changes down here that I keep telling myself, you know, after the next project, I'll make a tour video. And then it never gets done, and then more new stuff accumulates and things change, and boy. But we're gonna do it this time. I'm gonna try to keep it as short and sweet as possible. As usual, we're gonna meet all the animals, and there's a lot to cover, so we should just get started. And I do have a bit of an announcement at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around for that. Okay, so starting off, down here we have Rupert the rabbit. Issue of contention on my channel for a long time. People didn't like his cage size, but as you can see, he has access to more space now, and has for quite a while. That was always the plan. So he's got all this little area to run around in right here. Occasionally he'll get out and run around the basement, which I don't particularly like, because, you know, I'm worried that he's going to chew on wires or get into something he shouldn't. And he's not friendly. So you can't just pick him up and pet him. He's very evasive. Along, we have the birds. Kiki right there, and Harvey drinking some water over there. The parakeets. Let's see what Harvey's doing down there. Harvey's a good bird. I like him a lot. Kiki is, she's okay. She's more of his pet than ours. We got her just to keep him company mostly. Yeah, pretty standard parakeets. Moving down, we have the Japanese quail. This is Gadnuck, and you'll notice that his mate Kevin is missing. If you follow the channel, you'll know that I did have two of these at one point, and she just died about a week ago, unfortunately. He seems pretty distraught about it, a little confused, a little bit more anxious and nervous. I don't know if I'm going to get him another. Ideally, he would have more than one mate anyway. He would have a few females to have access to. But I also might just rehome him to somebody else that already has these guys. He's really neat. I like him a lot. But, you know, I just don't know if I want to get more of them, or try to help this little guy find a home with more companions. We'll see what happens. But that's Gadnuck, and as you can see, he's very nervous about the giant eyeball staring at him. Moving along, here we have Beans, the red-eared dragon, and she's looking fat and happy. She's almost a year old, not quite. I got her in October last year. Yeah, so she's close. September or so, she'll be a year old. She's doing good. Fat, happy, voracious Skeeter. And someday, hopefully she'll have some babies of her own. Below her, we have Nibbler, the dwarf hamster. He's a Russian dwarf hamster, also I think called a Hungarian hamster, Campbell's dwarf hamster. I don't know. There's so many of them. And he's doing good. He's very cute, not very friendly. I like to think he's like a little tiny bear. Looks like a little black bear. But you don't want to poke him, just like a real bear. Occasionally he'll let me pet him, but for the most part he's pretty content just to keep to himself. Not very social animal. And he is getting old. He's pushing 2. So for a hamster that's getting up there, I don't know how much longer he'll be around. And yeah, as you can see, he doesn't use the wheel, nor does he use any wheel for that matter. I could stick any wheel in there. He just has no interest. His exercise is mostly just zipping back and forth the front of the cage here. Up here and over, we have Steven. Steven is a bearded dragon that I hatched myself. along with 13 others last year. He is missing an arm, which is all the proof you need to know to not to keep bearded dragons together. But that was amputated, and he's healed up very nicely, and as you can see, he's getting quite large. And he will someday mate with Beans over there. That's the plan. I'm sure having one less arm is not going to stop him from doing that. Below him are the two African fat-tail geckos. So this is Gorgo, and there's this is Gorgo. You'd think the one eye would have given it away. So that's Gorgo, the big one behind the cactus there, and this one's Leela, and she is missing an eye. I adopted her that way about 3 years ago. Been hand feeding her ever since. She has terrible aim. Over here we have Turok, the son of Stone. He is a Chuckwalla. He's doing really good. He's in shed, as you can see. He's got bits of skin hanging off him. Really cool lizard. These guys are native to the American Southwest. They're one of the larger native lizard species, although he in particular is not very large. But he's growing, he's getting bigger, and he's very cantankerous, not friendly at all, unlike the bearded dragons. But care-wise, kind of similar to a Uromastyx, I suppose. Below him we have a newish edition. I've had her a couple months, but this is the first time she's been on the channel, and she is soaking in some filthy water there. They'll have to be changed. Of course, every time she soaks, she also shits. So, it's not mince words here. In classic tortoise fashion. In fact, I'm pretty sure she's shitting right now. I just saw bubbles. Anyway, so that's Bertha. She's a red-footed tortoise. Really cool. Love the red-footed tortoises. Somebody that I know couldn't take care of her anymore and just gave her to me. I knew that I would provide a good home for her. So, moving over here, we have another lizard. This is what's his name? Ymir. He's grown quite a bit. He's getting big, but for some reason he really prefers to be hand-fed, and he doesn't like to chase down his food. And he's very cantankerous. Likes to show off that black mouth. But a really neat little lizard. Oh, by the way, he is a mountain horn dragon, brown pricklenape, another name for his particular species. He is a Acanthosaura lepidogastr. Most of the ones you see are Acanthosaura capra, but they're all generally wild caught, and care is pretty similar. Alright, over here we have two American green tree frogs. Tucker and Dale, I like to call them. Let's see, here's one there. These guys are a lot of fun. They'll eat out of my hand. They'll try to eat my hand. Okay. He thinks I have food. And he will get his crickets soon enough. So there's Tucker, and Dale is usually back here. I don't see him. Either way, they look the same. He's usually a little bit more brownish or mottled green brown, as opposed to this one, who's generally green. And they both sing. They're both males. They like to sing whenever it's about to rain, or whenever the washing machine comes on, or I'm misting them with their water. Here we have the crested geckos, Yoshi and Big Red. So now we gotta try to find them. Well, there's Big Red right there, and she's not all fired up pretty for you, unfortunately, but when she wants to be, she is indeed very red. Big Red. She's a big, beautiful girl. We like her a lot. She's very tame, as opposed to Yoshi, who's a bit of a spaz. And Yoshi is right there. So there's Yoshi. If you're wondering morphs on these, I'm not entirely sure. I believe he's what's called an olive crested gecko, and she is a bicolor red. But I just got them because they're nice, healthy specimens. I didn't really worry too much about the morph, although she is gorgeous. Yes. Okay, over here we have a couple of baby cresties. That one just nailed the cricket. These are produced by Yoshi and Big Red over there. the only ones that decided to hatch out this year. Last year I had a bunch of them. One of them's inside the tube. We're not going to get to see that one, but I'm trying to get the best shot I can here through the wires. There we go. I guess that'll do. Ooh. There we go. Alright, so for Gatorface I had to actually physically reach in and grab her, but she did not want to participate in the reptile room tour. But look how beautiful she is. She's a gorgeous looking Crestie. And I got her at a show last October. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. Just forget it. She's inside that plant. I'm never going to get her out one-handed. This happy looking gecko is very excited because she sees me with crickets. This is Big Mama, the giant Madagascar day gecko, sitting there next to a brand new bromeliad. She's doing really good. I think she's enjoying the single life. She did have a mate with her. He died last summer. I have a couple of her babies from her last set of eggs. But yeah, she's a widow now, but she doesn't seem to mind. She's doing good. Over here we have the Big Mama's babies. Very excited. They're gonna get some crickets. I've been out of crickets for almost a week now, so they've been eating gecko powder and little super worms, and they're ready for the crickets. That's what they like. But they're doing good and getting big. They're gonna need a bigger enclosure soon, otherwise they're gonna start going after each other. And I would throw the crickets in one-handed, but the odds of one of them getting out is pretty good. Each of these has escaped before, and it's not fun chasing these guys around the basement. Alright, now it's time, I guess, for the worst part of any reptile room tour, and that's the snakes. I have 11 snakes, so this is going to take a while. Well, they're always the ones that, you know, you have to dig them out, and then they musk on you, and they don't want to cooperate for the camera. Except for Max here, sitting up on top. Max, Mad Max, probably a female, California king snake. And look at her, she's very into this. She likes this a lot. She probably thinks I have something to eat. But yeah, she's looking good. Yeah, the rack is new, the bins are new. They're quite large for the colubrids, which is good. That's what I wanted. Because even though I like the efficiency of the racks, I don't like the small cramped ones, and I like them to have some places to hide and explore, you know, that sort of thing. So we're giving the rack thing a try. This one's by Animal Plastics, and I hinted at it in one of my last tour videos, but geez, that was so long ago now. So that's Max. Below Max we have, oh boy, here's the first one we got to dig out. This is Reptilicus, high white California king snake from Ben Siegel Reptiles. He's in shed, and I absolutely adore this snake. Not for his appearance, but he just has excellent personality. Quite the opposite from Max, who is above him. They're both Cali Kings, but she still musks on you and puts up a fuss when handled, and he is just an absolute darling. He's great for shows, he's great to handle. Never an issue. Seldom musks, but he is in shed, so I'm not going to bother him. Next up we have Rita, the Pueblan milk snake, my very first snake ever. She's got to be about 6 years old now. She was in her water dish a minute ago, but now she's out and about. Gorgeous snake. Great personality on this one too. Doesn't musk or bite, but a lot to handle because she's always on the move. Look at that, beautiful. So next up here we have Cornelius, a male Miami phase corn snake. Got him last year. He's a really cool corn snake, not a man-made. Come here, come on. Not a man-made color morph, but a naturally occurring one from Florida. And those are that's my preference. I like the naturally occurring color variations more than the man-made ones. But I won't deny that some of them are gorgeous. So yeah, there's Cornelius. He obviously doesn't want to be a part of this, so we're just going to put him back. Alright, next up we have the bull snake, Priscilla. She's doing great. Not as cantankerous as she used to be, but you know, she still has her days where she just doesn't want to be bothered. Yeah, check her out. She's got her head hiding in there. There she is. I'm sure it's only a minute or two before she starts freaking out on me. Hey there, beautiful. Love bull snakes. And that is part of the reason why I love them. Now, if I just reached in there and grabbed her and pulled her out, she wouldn't be doing that. She's just very cage defensive. She doesn't like to be bothered while in there. But once you get her out, she's all about escape. These guys just put up a really good intimidation display. But yeah, she's already quieted down. Yeah, she knows me. It might be the camera that's really upsetting her at this point. So we won't bother her too much either. But we might hear her for the rest of the tour. Because once she gets going, I tell you. Below her, for all you ball python people, we got a couple of these as well. This here is Thor. Thor is pastel yellow belly genetic stripe. There, that's a mouthful, right? And unlike most ball pythons, you know, he's actually a very active snake. He moves around quite a bit. You take him out, he doesn't generally ball up. He'll usually start exploring pretty quickly. Yeah, look at him. He's pretty cool. I love the stripe coming down his back here. And he was given to me. Well, I adopted him. I mean, he was in the pet store too long. He was in there for about a year, and so I adopted him. There he is. Hey, Thor. Here's the other ball python. This is Cleo. Cleo is a pastel morph ball python, and definitely the largest snake currently in my collection. Look at her. She's doing good. She's I'm trying to think of how long I've had her now. 4 years, I want to say. She's 4 years old. Nice big girl. Very easy to handle. Perfect example of a ball python as far as just lazy and very chill. I do feel like the bins are a little small for the ball pythons. I will admit that. We'll see what happens in the future. They might get upgraded, or I might get a bigger rack system just for them. But I feel like this rack does work well for most of the colubrids. And there's a couple that I have to put a lid on because they can squeeze out. But other than that, it does work pretty good. Very convenient. Here we have Elvira. Elvira is an eastern chain king snake. Not something you see a lot of in the hobby, but a very cool king snake. One of the larger subspecies. These guys get around 7 feet. I don't know how big she'll end up getting, but look at that. She's very alert. She's ready. She wants to eat naturally, as is the king snake, kind of the king snake motto. Always ready for food. Yeah, she's doing good. She's gotten quite large. I don't know if you guys saw the video from when I got her, and she was just a little pencil thing. And now look at her. Of course, most of her is hidden under the aspen. And we'll just tuck her back in. Here we have a little western hognose snake. This is Seamus. Again, I've had him for almost 4 years now. He's the third snake we got. Rita was the first, followed by Cleo, and then this guy shortly after. With snakes, you know, once you get one or two, man, you just can't stop. But yeah, western hognose snake. Really recommend these guys. They're such a cool little snake. Look at that belly pattern on him. He's very sweet. Easy to handle. He can be huffy, as hognoses can, but there he goes. Not very big snake either. I mean, you know, he's a full-grown adult male. These guys don't get giant, but it doesn't take away from their cool factor at all. And here we have Paquita. Paquita is a hypomineralistic Everglades rat snake, and definitely the most ill-tempered of all the snakes I have. Look at that, she just shot right up to the front. Just a gentle little poke, that's all I gave you, honey. You don't have to be scared of me. You should know that by now. I've had her for almost, going on 2 years now. She was a little thing too when I got her. But, yeah, she's a difficult one, let's put it that way. She's, again, this is one of those colubrids that can get pretty big. I like the larger growing colubrids, I guess. She can get up to 7 feet, but she needs work. Yeah, she needs work because the handling doesn't go so good. She doesn't bite, but, well, that's not true. She does bite actually, but as you can see. But usually, you know, like with most snakes, once you get them in hand, they kind of calm down after a while. And you know, there she is. She's fun. She's a lot of fun. And last but not least for snakes, we have Namira, the gray-banded king snake. And I don't know if we have to reach in there and get her or not. She might just come out on her own because she's very curious. But you can see her poking out there a little bit. I'm gonna have to show you more of her though because she's just gorgeous. I don't know if there's a more beautiful snake than the gray-banded king snake. They're certainly on the they certainly make the short list for most beautiful native snake. There she is. Oh, just look at those colors pop. Beautiful. Very strong feeding response, so I'm not going to poke around on her too much because she will grab my finger and coil around it, and then, oh, it'll just take up more time than I have. There she is, Namira. And that's it for snakes, guys. That's it. Went through all 11. That's the hard part, so should be a little easier now. Moving over, we have, let's start looking at some toads, guys. This is Worf. Worf's a fun little toad. He's a, what do you call him? He's a southern toad. Southern toad, yeah. That's what he is. Because he's got those big ridges on his head. And that's, you know, a lot of the toads have the bony ridges, but they're very prominent on the southern toad. And he's a lot of fun. He's a cute little toad. Loves to hang out with his coconut. Loves to eat crickets. Sometimes I mean, I think I paid $15 for him at the reptile show. Sometimes the cheapest and easiest stuff is the most rewarding. And moving down from one toad to another, we have a couple cane toads in here. I just recently unboxed one of them a couple months ago, and that one is right here. That one doesn't have a name yet. And then the other one is the one I've had for a while now. It's Tinkles. You can guess where she gets her name. She likes to unload heaps of urine on you. But, yep, there they are, the cane toads. I like these guys a lot. Again, you know, nothing too exciting, I guess, but I mean, one of the largest frog species, and maybe the largest toad species. I'd have to look that up. There's a couple other big ones. These two aren't full grown yet, and if they're males, they probably won't get much bigger, but one of these days I'm hoping to have a nice big fat female. Moving on from the toads, I mean, I have more toads, but we're going in order here, you know. We're doing the whole room in order. This is Ogopogo. Ogopogo is a Sheltopusik, Russian legless lizard. Really cool, easy to care for species that is unfortunately caught from the wild almost exclusively. There are people trying to breed these guys, but I only have the one. I'm not one of those people trying to breed them. Mostly picked her up for educational displays, but she doesn't even care. You know, these guys aren't big on being handled or displayed. So, but a very curious, intelligent, seemingly intelligent anyway, lizard, and indeed legless. Great for illustrating the difference between snakes and lizards, or you know, the concepts behind convergent evolution. And check her out. And superficially, sure, she looks like a snake, but you know, take a close look at that head, and that is definitely a lizard's head. Down here we have a very inquisitive American toad that was well. She has really gorgeous patterning on her sides. Check her out. Underrated animals toads are. Above her we have fire-belly toads. 3 of them, although you never see them because of the plants. Not a true toad, by the way. I can see one right there. We're not going to look for all 3 of them, but at least 2 of them are males. They sing all the time, constantly, year-round. Might be 1 female, or they might all 3 be males. I'm not entirely sure on that. But yeah, there's a good look at one. Everyone knows fire-belly toads. They're very popular, and for good reason. Easy to keep, a lot of fun. Diurnal species, so they're active a lot during the day. And the plant in there is golden pothos, and as you can see, it has really taken off. Beside the fire-bellies, we have the Russian torts. There's Raquel, the female, who is just ballooned in size. She's gotten huge compared to her tank mate here. That's Russell. So Russell, I've had him. He's had him for a couple years now. And yeah, the plan is to try to breed these guys. Russian tortoises are typically wild caught, even though they can be bred in captivity. It's easier to catch and import them, and there's not a lot of people that work with them, I guess. I don't know. So I don't know, I thought I'd get some and try my hand at breeding tortoises. What the hell, why not? If I can breed some Russian torts in captivity and take the strain off the wild population, I'd feel good about that. But yeah, really cool little tortoises, very popular in the pet trade. Check out the size difference. She's not even full grown yet. They can get up, the females get up to about 8 inches, but she's certainly very dense. She's a heavy tortoise. And I did want these guys to spend most of the summer outside, but here in New York this year, it's just been all rain every day. So not very good for these guys to be wet. So unfortunately, they've been spending most of the summer right here. And then down here we have one of the newest additions. This is an elongated tortoise. I don't have a name for him yet. Again, this was an animal that was surrendered to me by someone who trusted me to take good care of him. He was just too much for the other tortoise. This guy had another elongated tortoise, a female. He was trying to breed them, and this one was just too aggressive. So there he is. I guess for in terms of weight, he's the largest reptile in my collection now. Very cool. Very unique shell on these elongated tortoises. I like how it just kind of falls back there towards the end. And it's certainly, elongated is the appropriate name. It looks like a loaf of bread. So this is it, guys. This is my fish. I've been slowly getting rid of all my fish, unfortunately. I will explain at the end of the video why that is. But I only have 2 left, and one of them is Sailfin Pleco, probably behind that rock, and then there's Megamind here, my big, beautiful Midas cichlid, who I'm going to have to part with, and I hate to do it, but all will be revealed shortly on why he's got to go. Yeah, I'm not getting out of the fish hobby, guys. It's just at the moment I'm not able to keep fish. But again, someday, eventually. And he's a Midas cichlid, a male. You can tell from the giant head on him, and very snappy. Look at those teeth on his mouth. This guy grabs your skin. It does hurt. I've been bitten by these things before, and they can tear a good chunk into off your finger. Very strong, powerful fish. I mean, look how muscular that thing is. There's some fish in here too, but the fish in here were originally meant to be feeder fish for Rooter. Rooter is a loggerhead musk turtle. Look at him. Isn't that just the best looking face on a turtle? He looks so happy. He's got a giant head. Oh, I just love musk turtles and mud turtles. There's a crayfish sitting next to him. He doesn't even bother trying to eat the crayfish. They were put in there for food. There's I think 3 or 4 in there. And same thing with the fish. They're supposed to be food. That's blunt-nosed minnow in the front and golden shiner back there. But he doesn't eat them. He's very lazy. He likes to just waddle along the bottom of the tank. Again, this is a kind of a nocturnal species. He's definitely more active in the evening and night hours, and he's a lot of fun to watch him clamber around, climbing up his log and on his basking spot. Very cool turtle. I highly recommend the musk turtles, and I would like to get more of them someday. So is she looking any bigger to you guys? Did you watch my unboxing video? She is bigger. She weighs, when I got her, she weighed 8 ounces. Now she weighs 12 ounces. So she's definitely growing. She eats anything I put in there. Crickets, mealworms, little minnows, bloodworms, turtle pellets, you name it, she eats it. She's not too worried about being held either, which is good. I mean, I really want her to be as tame as you can make a snapping turtle. Let's put it that way. She's a Florida snapping turtle specifically, and right now I just got her in this little unfiltered tank. It gets cleaned every other day, so I'm not too worried about that. The algae does grow. The UVB lighting and stuff really makes the algae take off in here. She's my youngest turtle by far, and then here we have the old guy, Old Man Raph. He's now got the 100-gallon tank all to himself. No competition. He's living it up. He's living the dream. He's 25 years old, guys. He's 25 years old. Well, he's probably older than 25, but I've had him for 25 years. I got him when I was just a little guy myself, and he was already an adult, so he's probably closer to 30. He shows no signs of slowing down. His colors have dulled a lot over the years, but that's pretty normal for these sliders. Yeah, always ready for food, but he's not friendly. You know, you think after 25 years he's gotten a little bit friendly. Alright, we're almost done, everybody. Just bear with me. I'm getting a little winded here myself. Here we have the leopard frogs. You've seen them, you know them. They're quite popular on my channel. There's one right there. There's 9 of them in here. We're not going to even try to find them all. In addition to the 9 of them, there's 2 little bullfrogs that recently metamorphed from tadpoles that I got at from a feeder tank at a pet store. They had some bullfrog tadpoles. So I got them, and they're in there somewhere too. But yeah, we're definitely not going to find them all. We're not going to look for them all either. If we can find at least one more, I'd be pretty happy. Right down here. There we go. Oh, there's 2. There's 2 of them right there. 1, 2. And back there's another one. So yeah, they're around. You just have to look for them. A lot of fun. I like these guys a lot. They pound the crickets, I tell you. I only feed them twice a week, but they put them away when they do eat. And they sing a lot. They spawned this past spring. I don't have any tadpoles anymore. They all ended up being feeders for turtles and fish and stuff. I wish I could find one of the little bullfrogs, but I guess it's not going to happen. But that's okay, because we have an adult bullfrog. And there he is. Oh, he is just waiting to eat. He is excited. This is a really cool bullfrog. I like him a lot. Again, tadpole from a feeder tank, and he's gotten quite large and voracious. Like, he wants to eat, and this is why the little tadpoles aren't with him yet, just because of his voracious appetite. There were some tadpoles in here with him, and one day I came down and you can see the tail hanging out of his mouth. No surprise there, although there are a few fish who have managed to elude him purely by sticking to the bottom, I'm sure. Now the sad news is, and we'll talk about this while looking at the bullfrog, I did have an albino American bullfrog. Only had it for a month, believe it or not. Never did well, didn't do well when I got it, never ate, and then eventually died from, well, got a bacterial infection. I treated the bacterial infection and it still ended up dying anyway. Oh man, it was just devastating. I love those albino bullfrogs, and to see it go, I mean, just forget about the 60 bucks I spent on it. It's just sad to see such a beautiful animal die. So, love the American bullfrog, and want some more. So I was pretty excited when I just found some tadpoles, you know, in a feeder tank, and decided I would stick with those and maybe not do an albino. I don't know. This is a male. He does sing. I enjoy listening to him sing. He's grown quite a bit, as well, I was gonna say, as you can see, but this is the first time he's been on the channel, I think. But man, I can't believe how fast he's grown. He's a little bit ahead of the other two, but we couldn't find them anyway, so we won't even be able to compare them. Let's just put it this way, man. If I put those other two in here, they'd be gone. So, who else? Let's see. So I guess we're talking about the dead bullfrog. This tank used to belong to a mud turtle named Gamera, and for whatever reason, I have no idea. I couldn't even begin to guess. He died. He died. Just one day he was dead on the bottom of the tank. I had him for about 8 years. He was healthy and happy as far as I know. I don't know how old he was, but they live 20, 30 years or more, so I don't think it was old age. It was probably something I did, and frustrating, because I don't know what it was. But now there's a bullfrog in here, and there will be a couple more in here too once they get big enough to compete with this guy. Alright, so here we go with another bullfrog. This is the African bullfrog, or pixie frog if you prefer to call it that. Not a very good name for one of the world's largest frog species, but yeah, look how big he's gotten. He's a beast. I put my hand in there with him, but he'd just eat it. So he's very voracious, and I'm surprised he's not lunging at the camera. And he's going to get a bigger setup too, and not because he's terribly active, but oh man, when he gets feeding, he just throws himself all over the place. So, and again, I used to have 2 of these African bullfrogs, and around the time that the albino bullfrog died, I also lost one of these African bullfrogs. Again, no idea why. Doing fine. One day it was dead. It did get a bit active before its death, like it was moving around a lot more often than I would have suspected from an African bullfrog, but you know, for all I knew, it was in breeding mode or something. The setup was exactly the same as this. In fact, it was directly underneath this bullfrog, and I mean, as you can see, this one's doing fine. So what killed the other one? I don't know. That's the frustrating part about keeping exotic animals. When you lose one and you don't know why you lost it, it really racks your brain. But as you can see, this big fella is doing fine. Colorado river toad, or a snoring desert toad, another name for it. One of the largest toads native to the United States. About right up there in size of the cane toads, give or take. As you can see, he's quite large. And got him at the show back in April, same show as where I got the albino bullfrog. But he's doing pretty good. Unlike the bullfrog, you know, he eats readily. Seems pretty content. Just got him in a bin set up here, which is kind of lame, but he doesn't seem to mind. He's a toad. And last, but certainly not least, but I'm certainly thankful that we're getting to the end here. We have Stella. Stella is a Brazilian short-tailed opossum, and since she's nocturnal, she's sleeping. Yeah, a lot of people think she's a mouse or something, but much cooler than that. She is a marsupial. Very much like the Virginia opossums that we have native to the United States. Has a prehensile tail. No pouch, though. She's a marsupial without a pouch, which is kind of odd, but other than that, the reproduction is the same on these as it is any other marsupial. And she just, oh, look at her little toothy mouth. Yeah, she has a possum's mouth, you can see that. She's got a nice 55-gallon setup here. This one used to belong to some of my fish, and I just upgraded her to this last week. But she's really taken to liking the top of her house as a toilet, which is frustrating because it's wood. And she was litter trained in the smaller tank, but now they moved her to something bigger. She's kind of a jerk about it. But yeah, that about wraps it up, everyone. That's the grand tour. Oh, and as for my announcement, so the lack of fish may have given it away, but I am moving. I'm not staying in New York. I don't know when exactly I'm moving, which is why I haven't really said anything about it yet on the channel. It's been in the works for a while now. The house is on the market, so we're looking to sell all this. I know, it's a beautiful basement. And I've had to get rid of the fish because we're moving to Maryland. And that's about a 6-7 hour drive from here, and I just don't think the fish will make it, and even if they do, it would just be too much of a hassle to try to get them set up and acclimated in addition to taking care of all the other animals. Because everybody else is coming with us. We're not getting rid of the snakes or lizards or turtles or anything. So that's enough work in and of itself without the added burden of fish. But once I get there, I will get fish again. And yeah, I guess I'm going to have to change the name of this channel, because I'll no longer be in the Finger Lakes. And I'll no longer be herping some of my favorite spots, and it's going to be sad, yeah, but I mean, come on guys. Just the New York winters are ridiculous, and I need to get away. I was hoping to move before this upcoming winter. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. But who knows? You know, somebody could offer to buy the house tomorrow, and then we're out. So, you know, you'll see it when it happens. All of a sudden I'll just be herping along the beach instead of out here in the countryside. But yeah, that's about it for the tour, everyone, and that was my big announcement. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And, you know, I'll see you next time.